Hi everyone, happy 2023, happy new year. I hope everyone had a relaxing break and got to spend some quality time with friends and family. So we actually went to Washington, D.C. for the break for a few days, and I discovered this amazing museum, the Planet Word Museum. So for all you word nerds out there, it's a must-see. They have these amazing interactive exhibits, and there's this word wall show that I'll show you a clip of after we go through the summary for this month. That's so interesting. And during it, I actually learned this really fun fact about which group, so males or females, and which age group within those two are the most inventive in terms of creating or coining new words. So stick around if you want to hear the answer to that. Also, I just wanted to point out, which is pretty obvious, that we're doing a video format again. We're going to keep trying this for a few more months, see how it works. And be sure to give us your feedback via email. I've heard from a few people that they would like a summary below the video in the email as well, a written summary. So I think I'm going to try that for this month, and we'll keep doing that maybe going forward. All right, so the paper that I chose this month is Computer-Assisted Word Reading Intervention Effects Throughout the Primary Grades, a Meta-Analysis. Or the subtitle for that I like to choose is, Can Computers Teach Phonics to Elementary School Kids? The answer, if you don't have time to stick around, is yes, but not as good as teachers. So really no surprise there. But let's go ahead and talk about what is a meta-analysis, because this paper is a meta-analysis. So a meta-analysis is a study that combines together the effects of several individual studies in a certain area of interest. So this certain area of interest was phonics, computerized phonics programs. The outcome measure was on student word reading accuracy and fluency. So this particular meta-analysis included 67 individual studies with over 10,000 elementary age students. Some were struggling readers. They were mostly English speaking, but there were several other languages in there as well. Some of the programs included were Alpha's Alley, Grapho Game, After School Read 180, and Fast Forward. Okay, so what were the main findings? Well, earlier I told you that the big finding is that computers can teach kids word recognition skills as well as phonological awareness, letter knowledge, reading and spelling. But, and I should say that you can even get transferred to reading comprehension from those computer-based interventions, but it's not as good as classroom-based word reading intervention. So that's what I meant when I said that teachers still can do it better. There's probably a lot of reasons for that. The authors don't really delve into that, but just think about what a human knows versus what a computer can get at. And I think we're moving towards a lot more personalization in word reading interventions and just ed tech and gamified apps in general. But a teacher's just going to know that student better if they've spent more time with them and just know tricks and tips to motivate that individual student. So let's see, a quote here. To conclude, this present meta-analysis shows that technology-enhanced word reading interventions on average yield moderate to positive effects on both accuracy and speed of word reading. One thing I thought that was really interesting, because this study included a lot of different language types, was that if the intervention is used for English-speaking children, the effects on reading accuracy are even better due to the fact that English has such a deep or opaque, or another way of saying that is just really complicated orthography, which is the match between letters and sounds. So word reading interventions done on a computer can definitely work, but you don't want to only do that. It should be maybe supplemental. And you always want to go to the individual study and find efficacy for your individual program. This is just sort of an overall umbrella kind of statement saying that computers are beneficial. But if you want to know if a particular program works for your students on an outcome measure that you know that you want to improve, like phonological awareness or decoding, always trying to find those primary sources. All right, so that's all I have in terms of the summary. Now let's go to a little bit of what I learned at the Word Museum. Okay, so I'm done with the research summary, but I just wanted to tell you guys a little bit about this Planet Word Museum in DC, which I'm nerding out over clearly. So they featured this word wall, and here's a clip of the show that they put on with that word wall.
Language. So 90% of English comes from French, Latin, Greek, or Germanic languages. But what about all those other words?
So sorry the volume's a little bit low on that last slide about the word wall, but it was during that show that I learned the fun fact that teenage girls are actually the most inventive in terms of coining new words. So a lot of people think of like Shakespeare and how so many words and phrases that he created, but apparently the museum curators of this show pored over, or I don't know if they did, they didn't give a citation, but they relayed the fact that after poring over text messages, letters, even from like hundreds of years ago, that teenage girls as a whole are the most inventive in terms of coining new words. So I thought that was super cool. All right, so that's all I have for this month, and I'll see you guys in February.